everyone, it's Gigi from Two Peas in a Pod. Due to the coronavirus and the social distance, Harry will not be here today. Harry, I miss you in the kitchen, and I know when this is over, we'll be back to normal. But for now, I just want to give a shout out to Harry, my cooking partner, who could not be here. The other thing I want to say is, I know that everybody is struggling right now, and I realize that this is tough times for everyone, and having to be away from your family, and some people are alone and some people are with other family members. But just take this opportunity and this time to know that America has gotten through so many things, and this just happens to be one of them. If we keep our social distance and we continue to do the things that will keep us safe and our families safe, we'll get through this. Just stay positive. That's all we can do for now. Make sure you wash your hands. So I'm going to do that really quickly before I get started. All right, 20 seconds. I didn't sing, I'm sorry. I could have, but you don't want to hear my voice. So just know that these are hard times, but if you need someone, just reach out to them, and use your social media to stay in contact with family members. It is tough, I do realize that. And my heart goes out to everyone. Well, for now, let's get started. Today, I am making a bread, and it only has 5 ingredients in it, which is really good. And I know trying to get to the store right now, or even finding the things that you need, sometimes they aren't there. So if bread is one of them, today I'm going to show you how to make this homemade bread, which has only 5 ingredients, and quick and easy to make. You also can add things to it. If you want to put like cheese or garlic bread, or you want to do an herb bread, or a cracked pepper bread, or maybe you want to try to make it a little desserty. Whatever you want to do with it is fine. Whatever you have in your pantry and you think is going to go good with it, it's a really good bread to start with. Just the basis. The other thing I've got working is I want to do this broccoli chicken. It's a chicken broccoli casserole. It's actually out of my head, so I didn't find it in a cookbook, but I did have a lot of leftover stuff, so I just wanted to get stuff out of the fridge and not have it spoil, you know what I mean? So I decided to get things started. So one of the things I'm also going to have on the side with the bread and with the chicken broccoli is going to be, this is called, I have to show you the package, and it's a broccoli carrot pasta. And it's gluten-free, which is really good, gluten-free noodles. I found this at a little store, so I thought maybe it'd be worth trying today. So I got my water boiling right now, so what I would like to do is actually start the noodles first, because they're gonna take a little bit. And these are the noodles. They're just dry noodles. And I've already got the water boiling, so I'm just gonna put them in here. And then put your top on, because you want them to get, pretty cooked. And I'm going to actually raise the heat on them a little bit, just so we can get them cooking. Now, the other thing I have, and I'm going to start my pot here. This is going to be where I'm going to put the ingredients for the chicken broccoli. And I want to get that started too, because a little bit of it gets started in here, and then we throw the rest in, and then the rest will go in the oven. Now, I've already preheated my oven to 400, so you probably want to do that. And I also have in this bowl here, I started my bread. So with the bread, you want to start, usually a glass bowl is good to use. So you want to use like 1.5 cups of lukewarm water, not scalding hot. You want to put 1 tablespoon of yeast and 1.5 teaspoons of salt You can use sea salt if you'd like to, or you can just use regular salt. And you want to use 1 tablespoon of honey. Now with this, you want to leave it for 10 minutes sitting in this glass bowl. And I keep like a big jar of yeast around because, you know, I like to make bread a lot. So I keep this, and you can keep it in your fridge. And then this here is the, this is the clove honey. And so you want to make sure that you have honey because you're going to need a tablespoon of that, and just pour it right into the bowl. Now it's actually just been sitting. Then you're also going to need, and you're going to need your pen and paper to write all this down. And I'll have it on the website, on YouTube channel. I'll have it in the description. But I also have flour. So it takes about 3 to 4 cups of flour. And I also have, with my brush, you guys always know that I use my brush. I have olive oil here. Ooh, gotta remove this a little bit because it's gonna steam up. So I have my olive oil, and that I'm going to baste on top of the bread. All right, so let me get this part going here because we're gonna need to start our vegetables and stuff. So I'm kind of gonna be multitasking. And if you hear my cat in the background, that's because he's not allowed to come up here while I'm cooking. So I apologize if you hear him in the background. He's not happy right now. I don't really like them in the kitchen when I'm cooking. Okay, so now after these noodles are done, I am going to put this truffle, it's truffle finishing butter. And I found it tastes pretty good with noodles because they're kind of bland, so you just want to put a little something in them. And I got this at Wegmans. They sell it in their, in the section where they have like the pastry dough and the frozen cookie cutout things and stuff like that. You can find it there. At least that's where I found it. Okay, so let's get this started here, and it's starting to heat up, which is good. Just set this here. Now I'm going to start off using olive oil, so I'm just going to drizzle some in the pan. It's probably like at least a tablespoon. So if you have a pen and paper, the ingredients that you're going to need is chicken, obviously, and you can use, if you like dark meat, you can use the chicken thighs. If you like the breast meat, which is the white meat, you can use it, or you can combine it. What I did was, the other day I went to Wegmans and I bought one of their rotisserie chickens, and I didn't eat it that night. So I decided to take that chicken, instead of throwing it away because I didn't eat it, it was still good. So I just took the chicken and I cut it up, and I'm going to be using it for this casserole. All right, so now I'm going to put the chicken in here. I'll start with that, and I've already cut it up, and so it's just going to go into your pan. Now this pan that I'm using is a pan that you can put in the oven, so that might be a good idea. If you don't have a pan that you can put in the oven, then I suggest you use a frying pan, put the ingredients I'm going to show you, and then switch it over to and I have this glass container here that you could use. I just wanted to show you what it looked like, but if you had to transfer it, you could use a glass one or a baking dish, whatever you have available. Okay, so now you're going to need your chicken. So I have about a cup and a half or 2 cups of chicken cut up. I diced it up. I also have some chopped up green peppers. So I'm going to throw that into the mix. And I'm using these are scallions, not chives, not those kind of scallions. These are the pink, you know, the pink ones. So, all right. Now, I'm also going to throw in some onion. The scallions I probably did maybe about, so this is so small, it's like maybe 1/4 of a cup. And then I did 1 small onion. So put that in there. Now, for your seasonings, I'm putting 1 bay leaf in, and the rest here I kind of mixed it all up. So I have Italian seasoning. I have about a teaspoon and a half, and then I also have garlic, teaspoon and a half. And I did put cracked pepper, teaspoon and a half, and a little bit of salt. So I'm just going to mix all this up. Get it all mixed up here with the olive oil that you already put in. Now the reason why I'm doing this is because I just want to get it kind of browned a little bit. Before I put it in the oven, I'm trying to cook the peppers and the onions just a little bit to hopefully it'll mix in with the chicken and give it a little more flavor. So I'm going to let this cook for a few minutes, and I'm going to check on my pasta here. So they're still not cooked, but they're getting there. Now in the meantime, while this is cooking, this has been sitting for at least 10 minutes, and this is what we're using to start our bread. Now I'm gonna put my sleeves up because I'm actually gonna probably end up getting my hands into this. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm going to start putting the flour in. I have to put the flour in. So I'm gonna measure out 1 cup. And I usually put in 3 cups right away because I know I've made this recipe so many times. I just know that 3 cups is going to soak up this water and the yeast and stuff. So I'm going to put the 3 cups in right away. The 4th cup I would save. Save the 4th cup because you might have to add a little more, or you might not need it at all. Okay? I'm going to take a wooden spoon. And what I'm doing is I'm just incorporating everything. Just mixing it up, getting it all mixed up together. I like using the wooden spoon instead of a spatula. Spatula seems to bend a lot, and you don't want that either. So just mixing it up. Now, mixes up pretty quickly, so you're going to need a little arm power in there. And it becomes like a dough. Now, if it's still a little sticky, see it's still sticky, you want to add a little more flour. I'm going to use about 1/2 cup. I don't want the dough totally dry because that way when it bakes, it will be dry, and you don't want that. You still want some moisture to the dough. Okay, as I said, I'm going to get my fingers dirty now, because I want this flour to really get incorporated into the dough. Now, what's nice about this recipe, it is only 5 ingredients. It's only lukewarm water, yeast, salt, honey, and then your flour. So, once it gets where, see, it's pretty good now. It's not too moist, but it's not too dry. So what you want to do now, this is the easy part. I've taken a cookie sheet. I'm just going to take this cookie sheet. I've already sprayed it. You can use your regular, spray, butter spray, olive oil spray, coconut spray, whatever you want. And I'm going to kind of form the bread. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make it look like a loaf. So I kind of do it like this because even though it looks like it's so thin and it's like a little log or whatever, it's going to end up like expanding. So let me get a knife. And what I do with the knife is I just cut slits in it. So you want to make some slits because kind of like French bread, when you get at the bakery. It's kind of like that. I got to stir this because we don't want it to burn. And this is starting to smell really good in here. All right. So I'm going to put this on low because I think it's ready where I can start incorporating things too. Now, I'm going to, with the bread, because we're still going to work on that, my noodles are looking pretty good. And I'm just going to take my brush and take this olive oil and just put it all over. I'm just making a plain loaf. I'm not trying to make it any more than that. Usually, you know, I'll make it with cheese, or I'll put some herb and butter and stuff like that, or I'll do a garlic bread. But today, just to be simple, just so you know how to make the bread, this is just what I'm doing. So this is the bread. It's the dough and everything's on it. So I'm going to put this in the oven. I told you to preheat the oven on 400. Mine's been preheated, so I'm just going to put it on there. It takes about maybe 25 minutes. If you need to baste it again, you can. All right, I'm quickly going to wash my hands again. Okay, now that I've done that, these noodles are looking pretty good, so in a few minutes I'm going to drain them. And I'm going to pull the top off of this because we got to start adding our other ingredients. Now, the other thing I forgot to mention was we need frozen vegetables and chicken broth and balsamic dressing. So let me go down the list again. You need chicken, you need broccoli, frozen vegetables, you need shredded cheese, whatever kind of cheese you choose to use, cream of chicken, like it comes in a can, balsamic dressing, which I know it sounds weird, but it does go with it. You need salt, and you need pepper, you need garlic powder, you need onions, shallots, and a half a cup of chicken broth. So I'm going to put the chicken broth in now because I don't want this to burn. All right, so let that steam up a little. Then I'm going to add this, it's just cream of chicken. It's just a can of cream of chicken. I decided to add that in it. Kind of thicken it up a little, you know. All right. So I'm just going to stir it right in. You don't have to do anything else with it. You don't even have to add water because you already have the chicken broth. So that's already taken care of. All right, now I'm also going to start adding my broccoli, and I've cut them up into little florets. So I'm just going to sprinkle them around. The broccoli, probably want about a cup, and just pour it right in. Now I do have about a cup of vegetables. And this is going to make a lot, so it's going to feed at least, you can feed at least 4 people, depending on, you know, what size portions. I do have this, it's called Olive Oil Company, but it's balsamic vinegar, and it's pretty good. You can add it to a lot of different things. One of the things I really like to add it with is salmon. Salmon's pretty good with it. All right, so I'm just going to drizzle a little bit. I would say with this one, just use your eye. You don't want to put too much because you don't want it to taste balsamic-y. I do have cheese. Now, I mixed this one because in my refrigerator, all I had was Asiago and Parmesan shredded cheese that I had for something else. Like I think I did a baked ravioli, cheese ravioli lasagna thing that a friend of mine taught me how to make. So I made it one night. So I'm going to sprinkle some cheese in here. Now I'm also going to save some because after it's done, I would like to top it. So for now, don't use all of it. All right. So now I'm just going to incorporate everything. That's what we want to do. We just want to, you know, just put it all in there and then just mix it around. And that's what I'm doing. So I hope everyone's taking this time to spend time with family and do fun things. I know that they're probably making fun of each other, and then there's times when they're mad at each other, because, you know, depending on how big your space is, I guess. But the one good thing is we're learning to socialize again, and that's really important. Me, I get to work from home, which I'm really happy about. I like what I do, and I've been home alone, so I've had, on occasion, you know, maybe my daughter came here and a friend, but old roommate of mine, Daniel, came and spent some time, but, you know, as things progressed, we needed to make sure that we were safe, so now I'm on my own. But it's okay, I'm staying positive, I'm trying to keep my mental health and everything, and stay focused on my job. All right, so now I've mixed all of this, and this pasta looks pretty good, so I'm gonna drain it. I am going to take this, the broccoli chicken dish, and I'm gonna turn the heat off. I turned off all the heat, actually. I'm gonna put this in the oven. I'm gonna let it bake for about 35-40 minutes, actually. Just let it just sit and bake. Maybe about the last 5 or 10 minutes. Maybe you can throw the cheese on top, or if you want to wait until it's all done, then put the cheese on top when it's all done. So let me get this into the oven. Now remember, I have the bread in there, and the bread takes about 20 to 25 minutes. And all this is going to cook on 400, okay? Now, my noodles are done, so I'm just gonna drain them really quickly. Okay, now that I've drained them, what I want to do is I want to throw in, while they're still hot, I want to throw in this truffle butter. So I'm going to take what I have left here. I need to get more. Oh my goodness. And I'm just going to stir it around, kind of coat it up a little bit. That looks really good. Okay, now, since I'm done with all of that, I'm actually going to put some cracked pepper on it. And I have some cracked pepper. You can buy this in your store and just put some in there. I think the truffle butter, the cracked pepper, and then the pasta itself, you know, it's just plain and simple, but it's nice, you know what I mean? Okay. Had to be honest, not having hair here feels kind of weird, but I'm doing it, I'm winging it. All right, now, as always, I always have stuff pre-done. Today, I have stuff pre-done. You like my desserts here? I haven't been really eating any sweets, but I still have them here. I guess if I get the urge, you know, I kind of like take a little bite here and there. Okay, so I'm going to pull out what I already pre-made, so you can see that. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is the bread that I pre-made, and that's how it's going to look. And see how it's got like a golden brown to it, which is really nice. And it's good because, you know, you have fresh bread. You don't get that very often. And in this pot here, I have the chicken and broccoli. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to plate my dish. I'm kind of rushing a little bit because, for time's sake, not to have the video go too far long, you know. But what I'm going to do first is I'm going to slice this bread. Now you can have butter with it, whatever you want, however you use it. Like if you use it for French bread, for pasta, or if you decide you want to have it as a breakfast, maybe you want to make French toast out of it. I don't see why not. And that's the bread. And then, this is nice and cool now, which is good. These cast iron pans are great, but woo, they can heat up pretty fast. All right, I'm going to take my noodles first, and I'm going to just put some on the plate. Just want to give you an idea what everything's going to look like. Again, I don't have one of those, what do you call those things to grab the pasta. Anybody for Christmas, or my birthday's coming up in July, you can get me one of those. I don't know what they're called. Pasta tongs? Something. All right. Now I'm also going to plate my broccoli dish. I know it's kind of hard to see. But it's kind of nice to be able to cook stuff at home. And I find that cooking at home really allows me to be creative, which I really like to do. Okay, so this is a very simple meal. As you can see, it doesn't take that long to make. I would say within an hour, you'd be able to definitely put this all together. So let me bring this close to you so you can see what it looks like. And that's going to be my dinner for tonight. So it's the chicken and broccoli casserole, broccoli and carrot noodles, and a slice of bread. And maybe I might put a little butter on it. I'm not sure. So that's dinner. Now I gotta clean this mess, but it's okay. Thanks everyone for watching our show. We're on Instagram at 2peasinapod. We are also on YouTube channel, which I will make sure that the link is there on the Instagram to take you over to the YouTube channel for 2peasinapod19. So it's at 2peasinapod19 Instagram, 2peasinapod19 for the YouTube channel. And if you have any questions, please message me. I'm always glad to answer any questions. And if you didn't get all the ingredients, like I said, I will put the ingredients with it. First, I'll probably air it and then add the ingredients. So I will post on our sites, even Facebook. I'll post on our sites when I'm ready to air this, which will probably be tonight, hopefully. All right, well, thank you for coming. Thank you for having me. And I hope everybody stays safe and just positive. We'll get through this. Promise. See you guys later. All right? Enjoy your Sunday. And for you guys that are out of work, my heart goes out to you. I get it. I understand. And times are tough. But we will get through this, okay? We will. Just have patience. And here's a big internet hug. Thanks, guys. Bye.